Do you often find yourself swayed by others' opinions, ignoring your own? A question that might seem trivial at first, but it's a probing query into the depths of your character. Traits such as over-trusting, excessive self-centeredness, blame-shifting, lack of self-control, and close-mindedness are often the hallmarks of a weak personality. They act as major roadblocks in our journey of life. If these traits sound familiar, perhaps it's high time to ask yourself, am I displaying traits of a weak person? Traits such as placing unearned trust in others, excessive self-centeredness, blame-shifting reflect weak thinking and act as life's major roadblocks. These traits can be subtle, often going unnoticed until they cause significant setbacks in our lives. Let's explore these traits in more detail. Firstly, consider the trait of over-trusting. It's a tricky one. Trust is essential for healthy relationships and team dynamics, right? Yes, but misplaced or unearned trust can lead us into regrettable situations and even cause us to lose our individual perspective. It's like being a leaf in the wind, swaying in whichever direction the wind blows without any control or discretion. Now, let's move on to self-centeredness. We all have a tendency to think about ourselves, it's human nature. But excessive self-centeredness can create a bubble around us, isolating us from others and damaging our relationships. It's all about balance, folks. Another trait often displayed by weak individuals is blame shifting. It's the classic, "it's not my fault" syndrome. When we dodge responsibility and shift blame onto others, we're essentially creating roadblocks in our own path. We're hindering our personal growth and avoiding the very lessons that could make us stronger. And let's not forget about self-control, or rather, the lack thereof. The inability to control one's emotions and reactions can stir up unnecessary drama in everyday life. Closed-mindedness and stubbornness are also signs of weak thinking, limiting our ability to adapt and evolve. Finally, let's talk about goals. Weak individuals scarcely show any drive to achieve them. They often seek external validation, run away from committing, and dwell on self-pity. They're like ships without a rudder, drifting aimlessly in the ocean of life. So, as we've seen, these traits can be quite damaging, but remember, the first step towards improvement is awareness. Identifying these traits in ourselves is the first step towards overcoming them and embracing a stronger, more resilient mindset. It's all about the mental attitude and the ability to overcome adversity, after all. Criticism is their enemy. They struggle handling it and as a result, hold on to grudges. Let's delve deeper into the impact of weakness on an individual's personal and professional life. When an individual displays signs of weakness, it doesn't just affect them, it impacts their relationships and their work environment. Imagine this, an individual who is overly self-centered, who doesn't take responsibility for their actions, and who constantly blames others. This individual would find it difficult to build meaningful relationships. Friends and family may start to distance themselves, leading to a life of isolation and loneliness. Now let's consider the professional aspect. In the corporate world, trust is paramount. If an individual is known to shirk responsibilities and point fingers, they may find it challenging to earn the trust of their colleagues and superiors. This could stunt their career growth and limit their potential. Moreover, an inability to handle criticism can be detrimental. In life, we are constantly learning and growing, and criticism, when taken constructively, can be a powerful tool for self-improvement. But when someone takes criticism personally, it not only hampers their growth, but can also lead to resentment and strained relationships. The impact of these weaknesses is not limited to one's personal and professional life. They can also affect an individual's mental health, leading to stress, anxiety, and depression. It's a vicious cycle where one's weakness feeds into their insecurities, further reinforcing their weakness. Sadly, they also keep clinging on to past achievements rather than living and working in the present. But remember, true strength lies in one's mental attitude and the ability to overcome adversity. It's not about never falling, but about rising each time we fall. It's about turning the tide of criticism into a force of motivation. It's about replacing self-centeredness with empathy, and blame shifting with accountability. It's about embracing personal growth over external validation. It's about living in the present, while learning from the past. Adopting philosophies for a better life, pushing for personal growth is the key to a successful life. So, tell us, which of these traits do you think is the most visible sign of a weak personality? Is it the unearned trust in others, the overbearing self-centeredness, or perhaps the constant blame shifting? Maybe you've noticed the lack of self-control or the tendency to dwell in self-pity. We'd love to hear your insights. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you find value in content like this, consider subscribing to our page and join our community at Eskimos. Don't forget to check out our recommended video on philosophies for a better life.